Welcome to The Explainer. Okay, this week in AI was a whirlwind. We're talking massive investments, some seriously mind-bending tech, and a pretty wild glimpse into our future. Let's just dive right in. So, what was the big story? Well, it wasn't just one thing. It was this complex narrative, written in code, cash, and culture. And really, three major themes popped out.
First up, the money. I mean, big money. We're talking billions of dollars flying around in this high-stakes global race for AI dominance. The scale is just staggering.
Then there's the tech itself, which got a serious upgrade. We had models learning to fix their own mistakes, new benchmarks were totally smashed, and then you had other models that were, well, let's just say hilariously outsmarted by journalists. And finally, how all this is changing our world, our digital reality, faster than any of us can really keep up. It's forcing us to rethink everything from social media to our own jobs. So let's get into it and break it all down, starting with that money trail. Okay, first up, the AI gold rush. I mean, the sheer amount of money pouring into AI right now is just wild. But it's not just about the big numbers, right? It's creating these incredible opportunities, but also some very real physical limits. All right, let's start with this number, $40 billion. That's what SoftBank just poured into OpenAI. To put that in perspective, this is the largest single bet on the AI race ever. It's a massive vote of confidence that OpenAI is on a path to becoming a trillion-dollar company. And you can't have one big move without another, right? Meta wasn't about to be outdone. They dropped over $2 billion to acquire an AI agent startup called Manus. And this wasn't just some speculative buy. They basically just bought a profitable, top-tier agent platform that's already pulling in over $100 million a year. Smart. But here's the thing. All this power, all this development, it has a very real physical cost. Think of these powerful models and data centers as just being incredibly hungry. And that hunger leads us straight to our next big story, a critical worldwide shortage. Okay, so what you're looking at here is a classic supply and demand problem, but on a massive scale. The global demand for these high-performance memory chips, the stuff that actually powers all these AI data centers, is now outpacing supply by 10%. And get this, prices are expected to jump by a staggering 40% next quarter. This really shows you the real-world bottleneck of this whole digital gold rush. It's not just about software anymore, it's about the physical chips. So all that money, all that hardware, what is it actually building? Let's get into the tech itself. Because this is a global race to create smarter, more capable systems, and things are moving fast. Check this out. Over in China, a startup called Z.ai just dropped an open source model, GLM 4.7, that basically topped the charts for coding. But here's a really big deal. They're the first Chinese lab to break the 70% barrier on this super tough test called SWE Bench. It's all about solving real-world software problems, and hitting that number is a huge milestone. It basically proves they can go toe-to-toe with the big Western labs. Meanwhile, researchers at Meta are trying to teach AI to get better, all by itself, and the way they're doing it is just fascinating. They literally have the AI model create bugs in code on purpose and then try to fix them. It's this wild loop of self-improvement where it learns from its own failures, creating basically an infinite amount of training data without a human ever touching it. Pretty cool, right? And we got a little hint of what's coming next. DeepSeek, another huge player, just published some research on a new model architecture. The takeaway? They're promising big breakthroughs in how much these things cost to run and how stable they are. It's a pretty clear signal that we're going to see a new wave of super efficient, super powerful models coming in 2026. But for all these incredible advances, you gotta remember AI can still be, well, pretty gullible. This story is just great. So Anthropic put their AI, Claude, in charge of a vending machine at the Wall Street Journal. A reporter, being a reporter, decided to mess with it and convince the AI it was actually a Soviet-era machine. The result? Claude declared an ultra-capitalist free-for-all and just gave away everything for free. It's hilarious, but it's also a great reminder that maybe we still need a human in the loop for a little while longer. And stories like that vending machine one are funny, but they also highlight how these powerful and, sometimes flawed models are already reshaping our world. So let's talk about that. Living in an AI world. How does this all actually affect us every day? Okay, Brace yourself for this one. New research found that a shocking 21% of videos recommended to new YouTube users is something called AI slop. Yeah, you heard that right. It's just low-quality, auto-generated junk designed to farm views. And the crazy part? Some of these channels are making millions of dollars a year flooding the platform with this stuff. So what's the fallout from all this AI content? Well, it's forcing platforms to completely change their game. The head of Instagram actually came out and said, the era of the perfect, super curated photo grid, it's over. Done. Why? Because we're all so flooded with AI images that people, especially younger users, are craving anything that looks raw, unpolished, and real. It's like authenticity is the new currency just to prove you're not a robot. You know, it's moving so fast that even the people building the stuff are trying to wrap their heads around it. Sam Altman from OpenAI had this really candid moment where he said he's actually envious of Gen Z founders. He's like, they just get to go start a company, build something new, without the immense weight and responsibility that he feels he's carrying now. It's a pretty telling comment.
So you take the money, the crazy new tech, the way our society is shifting, and it all leads to the one big question. Where is this train headed? Let's wrap things up by looking into the crystal ball. Here's what some of the biggest names in the industry are predicting for 2026. Okay, 3 huge predictions for 2026. First, Sam Altman says there's a massive opportunity. He calls it an arbitrage gap for anyone who jumps on AI and starts using it right now. Second, Nvidia's CEO Jensen Huang thinks we're going to start hiring AI agents just like we hire people, creating digital humans to work alongside us. And third, maybe the wildest one, Google CEO Sundar Pichai thinks an AI could probably do his job one day. Wow.
But to bring us back down to earth a little bit, Microsoft's CEO, Satya Nadella, has a great take on all this. He says we're moving past the spectacle phase. Soon, success isn't going to be measured by who has the biggest, most powerful model. It's going to be about who's actually using it to solve real-world problems. It's a shift from just showing off to actually getting stuff done.
And finally, a little peek at what might be coming to our hands, or maybe more accurately, our ears. Word is, OpenAI is totally overhauling its audio AI because they're working on a new personal device. And get this, they're designing it with Johnny Ive, the guy behind so many of Apple's iconic designs. The big idea is to make it voice first, so you talk to it instead of staring at a screen. So when you put it all together, this push into new kinds of hardware, the models getting smarter every day, and this vision of having digital colleagues, it leaves us with one last question to chew on. In just a couple of years, in 2026, who or what will you be talking to? Something to think about. Thanks for joining us for this week's Explain.